Hello, welcome back. I'm Statman Dave, and today we're taking a look at how Erik Ten Hag will set up Manchester United this season by taking a look at his starting 11 formation and tactics. Remember to subscribe if you're new, smash that like button, but anyway, let's get this party started. The 21-22 season wasn't a great one for Manchester United, as three different managers took charge whilst they collected the fewest points in a single Premier League season, and finished the campaign without a positive goal difference for the first time in over 30 years. But the appointment of Erik Ten Hag signals the start of a new era for Man United, and whilst it won't be an easy fix, Man United are on the right track. But how do they set up? Highly fluid and adaptable, it's difficult to label Erik Ten Hag's starting formation, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to go for a 4-2-3-1. In goal, David De Gea will keep his place. The Spaniard saved Manchester United a lot of points last season and was actually ranked 5th across Europe's top 5 leagues for expected goals prevented. Still just 31 years old, De Gea still can have a very long career at the top level of the game. And if his improvements during pre-season in terms of his passing numbers and tendency to come off his line are anything to go by, United's number one can still adapt to fit into Erik Ten Hag's needs for a sweeper keeper. Moving forward, the defence has seen major reinforcements. Ten Hag has stuck by Harry Maguire, but Manchester United's number 5 has a new centre-back partner, Lisandro Martinez. Meanwhile, at fullback, Diogo Dalot is the undisputed right-back, whilst Ten Hag's first purchase, Tyrell Malacia, has competition in Luke Shaw. In the early parts of the season, I fully expect a lot of rotation, with Shaw possibly remaining first choice, but Malacia's technical ability, playing style and football IQ will see him become the number 1 left back at the club by the end of the season. Ten Hag's use of inverted fullbacks is the best use of the position for the squad, often taking up central midfield positions in possession. The fullbacks create a solid base to build from and reduce the need for a dedicated defensive midfielder when United lose the ball. For all the criticism Harry Maguire faced last season, he never shied away and still topped a number of metrics. Even if we take the stats per 90, which benefits the other centre-backs who have played fewer minutes, Maguire ranks first for progressive passes, passes into the final third, switches of play, progressive carries, tackle plus interceptions, total blocks, ball recoveries, and successful aerial duels. His confidence on the ball and aerial strength will fit into Ten Hag's requirements, whilst Lisandro Martinez allowing United to confidently use both centre-backs to build out from the back. This blends excellently with inverted fullbacks and using a goalkeeper as an 11th outfielder, as United can easily outnumber the opposition's pressers. Meanwhile, the fullbacks are free to move laterally in search of space and create flexible passing lanes. And if the opposition commit and try and go man-to-man in build-up, they now leave more space for United's forwards to operate in, which is a very risky game, but more on that later on. This season, when building out of the back, expect frequent long switches and diagonal passes to exploit 1v1 situations in the wide areas. Martinez is one of the best in Europe at this, but Maguire has shown that he's been working on it in pre-season. Against Crystal Palace, Maguire constantly looked to switch the play to the left-hand side, and he found the nominal winger 5 times in 70 minutes, with a switch on the 16th, leading to United's opener. As Maguire carries out with the ball, Palace players shift over, expecting either a central pass or a pass into the right-hand side. But this opens up massive space for Jadon Sancho. Maguire finds Sancho in a 1v1, and whilst Fred's pass is wayward, United have dragged Palace over to the left-hand side, opening up massive space for Dalot. As the move plays out, you see the importance of switching the play in Ten Hag's philosophy and how goals can start from centre-back. The final part of the defensive unit is the deepest midfielder, or as Ten Hag has described the role, the connector. Fred has occupied this role in pre-season, looks okay, his confidence to receive the ball and decent technical ability means he can receive in tight spaces to help relieve pressure. Meanwhile, when United are attacking, Fred is the player who can try and snuff out any counter-attacks. The counter-pressing role suits him well, but in terms of progression, there's room for improvement, and you can see why Ten Hag wants Frankie de Jong in this role. On to the more attacking roles. The team selection will influence how the shape operates. Of the 3 central midfielders in the system, one is a 6, another is an 8, and the last is a number 10. In the bigger games, expect Scott McTominay to play in the number 8 role. for extra solidity. Meanwhile, against most oppositions, expect to see Christian Eriksen starting. The control and creativity that Eriksen brings to Manchester United will be incredible. The Danish playmaker transformed Brentford last season, and his performances ranked Eriksen amongst the very best midfielders in Europe. In fact, per 90, Eriksen ranked in the top 10% of central midfielders across Europe's top 5 leagues for 35 different metrics, with the standouts being key passes, expected assists, crosses, switches, shots taken, progressive passes, through balls and assists. His ability to dictate the play from deeper areas but still get into the final third and create will reduce the load on Bruno Fernandes. This won't just give him more space to operate in but increase his goal threat. But Bruno will also be free to drop in and further overload the opposition and help progression. Bruno Fernandes is United's attacking midfielder, whilst Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford will start on the flanks. But the centre forward provides a conundrum. Before we talk about strikers, let's mention the wide men. Rashford's duality and ability to hold the width as an inverted winger, playing a more creative role, as well as the ability to play a narrow role as an inside forward, as more of a goal scorer, will be ideal for Ten Hag, as he can make United more unpredictable without changing things. Rashford finished United's pre-season with the most shots taken, the most dribbles attempted, and the second best XG in the squad, which highlights how his confidence is starting to return. On the other flank, Jadon Sancho is going to pop off. Despite a very difficult debut season, Sancho still managed to create 1.9 chances per 90 and complete more dribbles than anyone else in the United squad. His form in pre-season has been excellent, and he's already started to develop relationships with Anthony Martial and Diogo Dalot, whilst continuing to build on existing relationships with Rashford and Bruno. Ten Hag's demand to get attackers close together will benefit Sancho's interplay, but his own personal play style of dropping deep to get on the ball to play make and progress the play is vital. It's no surprise that in the games that Sancho has featured, 77% of United's goals have come in the 229 minutes he's been on the pitch, with United failing to win without the playmaking winger. His ability in 1v1 situations see him hold the width for the team, whilst the constant support of Dalot, either inside on the underlap or outside on the overlap, gives him the confidence to dribble his marker. However, expect to see more output from Dalot because of this. Sancho is a very intelligent player, and as the opposition start to double up on him and ignore Dalot, Sancho will find his teammates with clever passes. What's more is that there's a little bit of depth starting to emerge at United, with Anthony Elanga only going to improve under Ten Hag's coaching and Imad showing promise. But the excitement is for Garnacho. I fully expect he'll be a solid part of the first team squad by the end of the season, but for now I look forward to his electric cameos. Ten Hag's striker is the focal point of the attack. They receive a lot of progressive passes into their feet before linking with their teammates, but without the ball they've got to lead the press. Surprisingly, Anthony Martial has been superb in all aspects under the Dutchman, and looks like the player that everyone knows Martial can be with a little bit extra. In the 19-20 season, Martial played as the number 9 for Solskjaer, and his skill set, close control, strength, balance and ability allowed him to thrive as a false 9 or deep lying forward. Meanwhile, Solskjaer's mid-block counter-attacking style suited his speed and movement. This all resulted in Martial's best ever goal scoring season in his career, with the forward notching 23 goals in all competitions. This season showed he fits perfectly with Ten Hag's possession game, but the little bit extra comes with the defending. Let's all be honest, in the past you could describe Martial as a lazy player. The 19-20 season saw him make 13 pressures per 90, ranking him in the bottom 10% of Premier League strikers, whilst the season after saw him make just 9 pressures per 90, ranking him as the worst statistical pressing striker in the Premier League. But under Erik Ten Hag, he's been working hard, leading the press and forcing turnovers. In fact, using challenge numbers from Instat in pre-season, Martial is making 32% more defensive challenges per 90, compared to the best Premier League season he's had. Granted, it's a small sample size, and we're talking about pre-season, but the building blocks for Martial seem to be there. He's shown that he can be one hell of a player if he's backed, but his career has been filled with very bright spots. But when it seems like he's won the trust of the manager, he's been axed from the side. He followed his debut season under Louis van Gaal, where he was the club's top scorer, with losing his place and squad number to Zlatan Ibrahimovic under Jose Mourinho. Then when he edged Marcus Rashford out to the left wing spot, Mourinho signed Alexis Sanchez before trying to sell him in the summer. And finally, he followed his stellar 19-20 season under Solskjaer with being dropped after being sent off in the third game of the season. To me, it makes so much sense from a long-term perspective to back Martial as the first choice striker and use Cristiano Ronaldo as an impact player, rotating him into games and calling on him when United need a goal. Not only does Martial fit into the system and style a lot more than the 37-year-old, but his existing relationships with Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes make United's attack extremely fluid. A type of goal that I think we'll see a lot this season was Sancho's against Crystal Palace. Starting from the goalkeeper, United draw the opposition high, and you can clearly see the 2-3 build-up shape, and despite Palace committing bodies in a man-to-man scheme, United still have a numerical advantage. Then they go from seemingly penned in with Victor Lindelof to create a 1v1 chance in just 6 touches as they carve through the space. The replay does give a great job of showing why teams build out from the back, as Palace ultimately leave Van de Beek, Fernandes, Rashford, Martial and Sancho in a 5v5 on the halfway line. Then as soon as Fred escapes the danger and plays wide, Palace are on the back foot and United pace kills the Eagles. The 22-23 season is going to be an exciting one for Manchester United fans, but don't get carried away. First and foremost, this is going to be a development year, as the players are brought up to speed with the system and tactics, whilst Ten Hag decides which players he wants to move forward. There's also going to be improvements made throughout the season. So far, we've seen a focus on dominating the ball and repeatedly switching the point of attack, and a big emphasis on aggressive counter-pressing, but not much more. From Ten Hag's Ajax teams, we still got to see positional rotation in sustained attacking moves using underlaps and third man runs from midfield before creating through low crosses and cutbacks. There is going to be highs and lows, but I'm genuinely very excited to be a Man United fan this season. But anyway guys, what do you think? How would you set up Manchester United and where do you think they'll finish this season? Let me know in the comments below. I've been Statman Dave. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, why not check out some more content on the Statman Dave YouTube channel.